the Prickly Pear Show. Ron Furman, come on down.
Where's the music? I was waiting for the music. I didn't want to just come out just like that. What happened? I thought you were supposed to set it all up.
I set it up, but it had like a 2-second delay.
What a good setup. It was supposed to be right there.
It was. It played, but like it had a 2-second delay. I'm like,
I'm going to put a pillow here because
Why?
I have an injured back.
Oh, is that why you're wearing the championship belt?
Nobody could see underneath, but yes, it's not a beer belly.
I was going to say, I'm like, what is this? I'm like,
yes, it's
bumping iron?
No, it's a belt to hold my back together. I am no longer the spring chicken that I once used to be. So, yeah.
So since you're a spring chicken, then you can give me the answer to this.
Wait, I said I am not a spring chicken.
Well, you were.
I was, yes.
So since you were, can you tell me the answer? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
The chicken.
Of course, because the egg had to be hatched in order for it to happen.
That's
and the chicken happened because dinosaurs left? Is that what happened? Was the chicken like a dinosaur?
A chicken was a dinosaur,
little dinosaur that like...
I think a chicken is kind of like, or maybe I'm wrong, like a raptor, I think. Like it's kind of the same family.
Yeah,
I think it kind of looks like
rats
a
and
raptor.
stuff like that.
Okay, so we're back. It's New Year's.
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other in quite some time.
Nope.
And I haven't really spoken to you about your New Year's. Yes, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to put us on the screen so everybody gets to see us and we can see ourselves.
Well, so I can see the comments.
You can see the comments, okay? No comments yet. Let's see, now I do sit straight. Soon we're going to be having the studio lit up properly. You can see that there's a green screen behind us. Thank you to Scott Call Out who messaged me just before telling me that I should keep it at 6 feet away from the green screen.
Okay.
Which that was the plan. This is just for today.
We're gonna have Tyrannosaurus Rexes behind us.
Yeah, Anthony's not here.
Support.
Anthony is our assistant producer.
Anthony, we miss you.
Yeah, he's actually, I was about to say feel better, but he just started feeling better. So
yeah.
I don't know if it's weird to say feel better.
Stay better.
Stay better. There you go. So a lot of people actually have been sick. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're just trying to make sure we can see everything.
Well,
so we're with you.
Comments is the most important thing to me.
Yes, that's the reason for the live. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Okay,
Boom.
fantastic. Now, if I put my head down, you'll see less of that double chin. Speaking of double chin, I've been dieting, as you know.
Yes.
And
how's that been going?
I've been doing okay. Although I went for sushi the other day, so
well,
I had a little.
sushi's
So,
not
yeah, but I
horrible.
had rice, and lately I've been going for sushi, and I haven't been eating rice.
Okay.
So yesterday was kind of like a, I didn't want to be too
Rice is
picky.
bomb.
Yeah, I didn't want to be the type of person that says I really can't have rice.
I haven't had sushi since last year.
Ha ha! That was a good one.
I didn't want to say it. I was literally debating in my mind for probably 5 seconds if I should go there. But it's been a while, even before last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably been, I'm gonna say, 4 months.
4 months of not eating sushi?
Yeah.
You must be insane.
3 months, maybe?
I don't think I can go
I don't know,
a month
babe,
and a
if
half.
you're
Like if
watching,
I was a
you know.
pregnant chick, there was no way I'd be able to survive.
Well,
I'd be killing the baby all the
being
time.
pregnant, you can't really eat sushi, so...
Isn't that the whole point of me bringing up the pregnancy part?
Well, maybe.
Yes, I don't just throw out random information. Because I love myself some raw fish.
I love myself some raw fish too.
Yeah, but no, I went out last night. I went out for
And
sushi. It was
some,
wonderful. Call out. I just noticed that they were online, so I'm not going to mention the name. I don't want to embarrass anyone, but thank you very much for the sushi. It was actually pretty wonderful. So New Year's.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What did you do? Did you do anything exciting? I haven't seen you. I haven't heard from you.
Well, you haven't heard from me. Yeah, I fell off the face of the earth for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
I went and I spent New Year's with my parents. Actually, it was nice. My brother came down from Boston, and
is that what you
or
usually
came up
do during
from
New Year's?
Boston.
Like you spend it with a family? It's a family event.
I did it when I was younger. Every New Year's was spent with family. But the older I got, it was more or less we'd spend some time and wouldn't spend the whole night there. Excuse me. And now it's more or less me wanting to spend more time with my parents.
Oh, that's wonderful. My parents never did the whole New Year thing with the kids.
Really?
Actually, my parents are very adventurous in some ways. They would always have this event that they would do with their friends when they were younger. And they would dress up and record themselves doing some crazy stuff, and us kids found some of the videos.
Oh no.
Yeah, and we couldn't wait to watch the videos every year when they would record.
Could you imagine the stuff our kids would find of our...
Oh yeah, for sure. We record everything, so I mean that's the reality.
Well, I'm kind of glad that in my late teens, early 20s, there was no social media.
Absolutely.
You know, so
I actually feel bad for these kids.
There's no evidence of anything, because I could even say confidently that everyone, and I can say everyone, even people who are currently now probably rabbis that like that
I've recorded themselves.
No,
doing
like
stuff.
if social media was around, they wouldn't be able to be like.
Yeah, no, definitely change things. But I don't just think it's social media. Actually, today is National Technology Day. So, we have to give like a shout out to technology, how it shaped our lives. But in a way, I feel like it kind of it's robbing the children of their youth.
Now, yeah. Cause,
when I was a kid, my parents used to yell out the window to get me back in the house around like 10 o'clock at night. Now I see parents sending their kids out to leave the television.
It's funny because my Canadian friends, and by Canadian I mean like friends on the street, they weren't even, like they were Canadian, but they were from different backgrounds. I had Italian, Spanish, Chinese, they're Filipinos, like different ethnic groups on my street. And all of them knew the phrase, Liana, iti damoy!
Oh, really? They used to yell it?
Yeah.
A part of my nickname, like my nickname for those that don't know, it's Peps. It's kind of a weird nickname, but Peps or Pepperoni. Not because I was zitty, because I actually did not have any acne, but my mom used to yell out the window, Sharoni, Paparoni, Sharoni, come home. And then somehow one kid decided to say Sharoni, Paparoni, and then it just kind of stuck, and it became like my weird nickname throughout my childhood. Yeah. And I used to hate it too. I used to get so pissed if somebody would call me by that name, and today I'm like, it doesn't make any difference if they call me Paparoni.
Yeah, for me, I didn't have much of that. It's just a lot of...
So all the Filipinos would know to call. You
I
lived in a
had
pretty predominantly
more,
Filipino area,
no,
right?
I had more Italians.
Italians? Where did you live? Whereabouts?
Well, I grew up in Thornhill. Like,
Why do I remember
I grew up.
I thought I remember you were Baptist and Steeles.
From 14 until 28, I want to say.
Okay. I don't think they're waiting there for the exact date.
Whatever.
I was like,
I
she
literally
means
from 14
27.
to 28 to maybe 30 even.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 30 actually. No, 28 because I'm 34 now.
Okay.
We were in Thornhill. Before that I was in North York, so more or less Finch area.
I don't know why I keep thinking I confuse you with your cousin because they lived in Bathurst and Steeles.
I lived at Bathurst and...
No, but they live in Bathurst and Steeles right behind the McDonald's over there.
Steeles, no, yes.
I call it the Filipino McDonald's because there's...
Yes.
I don't think I've seen a non-Filipino working at that McDonald's. I couldn't even tell you. Like, everybody there is Filipino. It's just weird for me. It's just weird that like you're only seeing, like in a country like this, and you're seeing only one ethnic group. Like if I saw too many white people, I'd probably have the same reaction, or maybe not.
Working, I don't know, depending on the area, right?
Yeah, but you're thinking Bathurst and Steeles. You have Russians, you have Jews,
you're thinking Bathurst and Steeles.
Russians still live there.
Yeah.
It's still Russian central.
Yeah.
When Russians, maybe not the new Russians, when they come to the country, Bathurst and Steeles is sitting there waiting for them.
That is, Goldfinch is the homeland.
Goldfinch is basically
where
those that could not
starts
afford. Actually, there were two different types of classes when it came to Russians. There's the types that came with less money, and the type that came with more money. Also, the ones that lived in Goldfinch were mostly Russians from Russia.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones who lived in like Antibes area were mostly Israelis. So different demographics. But anyways, we're touching upon something that nobody really cares about.
Nope.
Not even I.
Nope.
So talking about New Year's, you were with your family, you had a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time. My mom, okay, so the whole thing is, speaking of living in Thornhill, when we were moving from Thornhill to Bathurst and Steeles, where my parents live now, but I don't live with them, obviously. My mom thought that she lost her recipe book when we moved into the Thornhill house. So for almost 20 years, this book had been missing.
Okay.
And when we were moving out, I was emptying the garage with my brother, and I saw a bag, and within the bag, I saw something inside that, like, I've seen before. And I pulled it out. It was her recipe book. And she used to make this amazing honey cake for me. It was my favorite cake. She used to make it layers, and she used to put meringue all around it. It was amazing.
How often did she make it?
She would make it when I was younger. Even this is young. When I say younger, this is way before my brother was born. So
Okay.
my brother's now, 22.
Okay. So a while. Okay.
So a while ago, but she made it a lot. The last time I had this cake was around my bat mitzvah. That should tell you how long ago.
Well, the
this
reason I'm bringing it up is
this is
because
like 22 years now.
I bring it up because like if you make something so often, how do you forget? Like those people, they're like, oh, I forgot the recipe. It's like, well, you used to make this on a regular basis.
You used to make it on
Why
a regular
would you forget?
basis, but like
I could play tunes on the piano that I played when I was 4.
My mom made a lot of different recipes for different cakes, right?
So she forgot the honey cake one.
But you need specifics when it comes to baking. You literally have to have specific ingredients. You can't guess. You can't do any of that stuff. You have to keep it specific.
Okay.
So she didn't want to risk it, the flavor, whatever, what we remembered, I guess. And it just hurt her losing that book because it was her mom's.
Right. It's a sentimental value, for sure.
So she kind of lost the love for baking, and we found that. And I came to my parents' house, and I saw the cake. And my brother's like, yeah, Mom made it for you. And I literally, started crying. My brother, my boyfriend, and my dad are literally looking at me going, are you crying over a cake? I'm like, I'm so happy she made it.
Yeah, it's sentimental.
It's so I ate that cake with pride. She literally gave me half of the cake, and
she made it for you, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and Sean and I ate it.
My mom used to bake cakes when I was a kid growing up all the time. I remember I used to help her. I used to lick the spoon all the time.
Like the beaters from the
Yes. Oh my God, she used to make such amazing stuff. And then we moved to Canada, and she stopped baking. And I asked her, I was like, why did you stop? She's like, because it costs me $30 to make a cake that I can go buy for $20. So what's the reason?
For me,
and all the time.
Yeah.
So
well, it's a love thing, right? And
no, for sure.
You guys probably.
I'm glad she didn't make more cakes, because clearly I would balloon to even more.
Does she make them now?
No, she doesn't really bake. My mom is a great chef. We're talking in terms of being a cook.
Yeah.
My mom is incredible, but she just doesn't bake that much. My aunt is more of the baker. Which is good, because none of us really eat bread in the house, so it's kind of...
I baked a couple of things before, for the house. I made a strudel, and I made this...
When you have the strudel, do you serve ice cream with it, or do you just bring the strudel and go?
I bring the strudel, and because my parents, they don't like too over-sweet things, and for them it's shakumpi, which is drinking, eating something with some tea.
Okay.
So if you put ice cream, tea.
Yeah, so it's very traditional.
It's too much.
Gotcha.
So,
by the way, people are asking about the green screen, so just to let you guys know,
really?
It's no longer going to be a green screen a little while. That's the magic of television. But we don't have our computer yet set up, and things are changing. But the studio looks completely different than what it looked like before. I posted a picture today to show the new look of what it's going to feel like.
Yeah.
And the background's going to change. We're also going to be able to talk to you very soon. The idea is not just to go live, for us to maybe screw up on a few lines or whatnot, but really it's to interact. It's to interact with you, the audience, for you guys to give us your feedback, ask us questions, especially when we start to bring up very serious topics, and we're going to be having amazing guests. We want this to be
Good
interaction
times.
between us, and very, very important. So do you want to get on with, two more things. It's actually also cuddle up day with your spouse day. So it's like a cuddle up day.
Cuddle as in the fish.
No cuddle as in being with somebody. And at the same time it is National Bean Day. And I kind of find it odd that Bean Day would work with cuddling, because I try to avoid cuddling when it's Bean Day.
Well, when you're in a relationship, cuddling and
Bean Day
bean association goes hand in hand, because
right.
If you're
comfortable
with someone,
right.
If your boyfriends are gross, they will Dutch oven you. So
when you say your boyfriend is gross, you mean
not
if you have a boyfriend, he's going to be gross.
If your boyfriend is gross.
I have never met a man that's not gross. Never. Never met a man that doesn't fart on a regular basis to just kind of show that he's a man. Everybody does it. Have you ever met a man that doesn't and anybody that's out there who could say otherwise is talking complete smack. We're having Sean, it's Sitzman. Sean Sitzman. Sean, we're going to be talking about various topics today. I think you're going to like some of the topics we're going to be bringing up. We're going to get into it, I promise. Sorry that we have such a long intro. It's just it is New Year's or post-New Year's show.
Yeah.
Wanted to kind of like...
Show
first show of the year, so we're here to bore the hell out of you or tell you about the different changes. But you know what, Sean, he brings up a good point. Why don't we just kind of skip the BS and work right into the topics?
Yeah.
So what do we have? Oh, first up, okay, so it is Russian Orthodox Christmas. That's coming tomorrow. So wishing all our people out there who are celebrating the Russian Orthodox Christmas. And
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
so is it, no, it's a Merry Christmas? Like, just...
well, yeah, it's Merry Christmas. You can't...
Right, but, but since it's Russian Orthodox, you just say... No, it's not Slovak. That's not New Year's.
Well, how do you say it?
I don't know, something like... Well, they believe...
It's Christmas.
They believe that Jesus was born today. And it baffles my mind. Because if you actually Google stuff, they don't have that exact information. They say that he was born in between the 4th or the 6th AD, which is again interesting to me because I always thought that AD meant after death and BC before Christ, right? Like I just kept thinking...
BC is before Christ.
But he was born between 4 and 6 AD. So that means...
Yeah, so AD is the time he was born. So right after, so 6...
Think about it. It's math. It's very simple. It's 4 and 6. It has to start somewhere at 0. Right?
So,
and also after death, isn't there like 33 years?
But wasn't it decided that Christ wasn't 0? There was stuff before him?
But how can you say before Christ and after his death? How does that make any sense? Like, just think about it. The numbers just don't fly. Like, something here doesn't make... Plus, if I remember correctly growing up, it was told to me that he was born in March. So here we are celebrating December 25th, right? We did the Christmas.
Isn't that when Easter happens?
No, Easter happens mostly in April. So it goes by lunar calendar. That's why it's always...
Good Friday or something?
Good Friday, but that's usually April. Most of the time it's April or really at the end of March. Yeah. But it's not. March has Purim in it as the holiday.
And so does April. Yeah.
What do you mean April has April has Purim? No, it never has Purim. Never has it fallen on April.
Yeah, Passover.
Passover, which is quite a bit afterwards.
My bad.
That's okay. You want Jew, you come to me. That's what I
do. Sorry.
But anyways, they're celebrating, and I'm very happy for them. You know, like that. Again, any celebration is amazing. But my problem is since they believe it and they go to church and they pray and they hear the same sermon on a regular basis, at no point does someone go, wait a second, everything you're telling me right now is complete BS. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, nobody's gotten up and said something. Like, we talked about the 25th.
I'm sure there's been people who even say things with other religions who've gotten up and said, you know, this is complete.
No, but they know. Like, the audience knows. Like, if you right now went to a synagogue and you heard a guy saying, I don't believe that people, you know, the Jewish people crossed the Red Sea, you know, after the Egyptians were trying to murder them. So you're going to have rabbis getting up, oh, great question, let me answer this. But when it comes to, like, this part, where, again, we don't even know when he's born, we believe he's born in a specific era, right? By the way, he's born in Bethlehem, then moved to Nazareth, even though he's called Jesus of Nazareth. But, like, how can people celebrate something when they know for a fact they don't know? They know for a fact that this did not happen on this day.
But that could be said about any other religion.
Give me an example.
Well, you know, in Judaism, how do you know for a fact that everything that's written is true?
It's not the same. It's like there's certain things that you can break down, right? Like, I'll give an example. Like, if I could say that...
Well, there's scholars that can certainly break down certain things for you as well when it comes to the Easter or whatever.
No, I can tell you because the answer is there.
Yeah.
If you're looking at Christmas as the 25th, that's actually like a pagan holiday. So, celebration of the trees, hence why we have the tree. But people go to Mass, we talked about it a few weeks ago. At midnight on the 25th. So already we know that there's something that doesn't really work together. So that's really my question. Like, how can somebody continue going and praying and listen when they know for a fact, wait a second, they don't even know the answers. So this person is supposed to be the educator, the teacher.
Yeah.
I see you reading some stuff, so what's being said? By the Noah Grad, who is speaking right now, she's our guest next week. So Noah, thank you for tuning in. And a part of the one of the topics that's about to follow is somewhat due to you. So hopefully you'll get an opportunity to talk to us. So what are you seeing over there?
It means Anno Domini, which is Latin for in the year of the Lord.
Okay. So, AD. Okay, gotcha. So she's explained to us. Thank you. See, but again, grew up my entire life hearing like after death, before Christ.
Yeah.
But anyways, I gotta be.
Learn something new.
Well, that's the point. That's the whole idea of the show. So maybe we'll talk about it more next week.
Yeah. But now let's.
So moving to Seinfeld.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
We're just kind of like the comedy aspect of it.
Okay.
By the way, the other day I sat down and I watched. I love his brilliant show, like comedians in cars.
Oh, drinking
coffee.
That's a great show.
I love it because you get an insight into these comedians. There's a little bit of laughter. It's short enough,
and he picks cars and explains why he picked that car for that comedian,
right.
And I enjoy that aspect of it because.
You're into cars?
Oh, I love
really?
cars. Yeah.
I didn't think that you were into cars.
Love cars.
Really? Okay, that's very.
I grew up in mechanic shops.
Oh, I didn't. My favorite car growing up was red.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
What kind of car do you want? A red one. That's the one I wanted.
Oh.
Yep. Still can't get that red car, so I still.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, at one point I wanted a ruby red or fire truck red Mustang, but I said if the ruby red Mustang, if I get that, it has to be a certain year. But for the regular Mustang, I wanted either black or black.
Black or black. So the Seinfeld part that we're bringing up is because here we at it again. The new millennials are out there.
Oh,
and,
by the way, sorry, 69.
Oh,
Mustang Shelby Cobra.
Okay, so gotcha.
You'd
be good if My Cousin Vinny 2 came
60.
out. You'd play that role to a T. But back to the Seinfeld part. Right now we're having like these millennials coming out and speaking up against Seinfeld, trying to have it taken off the air because apparently the show was offensive. If I remember correctly, the show was supposed to be somewhat offensive. They made fun of like anti-dentite, anti-Semite, soup Nazi. I mean, the whole idea was
married with children.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Well, that's not on the air.
Oh,
right
I remember when. Yeah, it is. It's still on the air.
Is it in the air?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Channel 27 Cable 4. Do you remember that when you used to play?
Yeah, and it was 4, Channel 4. It was
Channel 4?
CFMT now.
Yeah. It still plays on that channel?
No, I don't know what channel, but I don't remember.
They should bring that show
back,
like do like a new twist.
I think they were going to.
Yeah.
It was Bud's Life that they were going to bring back. But,
oh, really? He's a forgetful character.
Bud?
Or Grandmaster B.
Grandmaster, forgetful
no,
character.
But I know everything. Like meaning when it comes to television, like I know a lot of useless information.
There were so many cameos in that show. It was the greatest show ever. I absolutely adored it. And then Unhappily Ever After came out.
That was awful. Yeah. With the bunny.
With the bunny, Bobcat.
But he ended up dating the blonde girl. And the show she played. The redhead. The redhead in the show.
Nikki Cox.
There you go. He ended up dating her for a while. And she was dating.
Married to Jay Moore.
Was she?
Yeah, she is married to him.
See, that I don't know. And who's the guy? By the way, who's the boy?
The guy is the guy who was in Entourage.
There you go, Eric.
Eric, yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? I forgot his name. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Of course it does.
Also played Johnny Q. I remember him in that movie.
But
anyways, the Seinfeld thing. Let's kind of like talk about the topic itself of it's okay. Of people being over dramatic about everything. Like we're literally going back and thinking that everything that we're watching today that was filmed yesterday.
They did that with American Pie.
With American Pie too?
Yeah.
No, but like, at what point do we start ignoring these people? I mean, when I mean ignoring, like, not even giving them the limelight, not even making this an issue, like completely bypassing everything.
Well, I kind of white noise them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really, unless it's something so severe that it really truly requires my attention.
What about the song that during Christmas? Right, that became a big deal. The idea of Baby It's Cold Outside.
Cold Outside.
Yeah, that they turned it into like a rape song. Now again, we don't know whether it was or isn't, or really getting into it. But like the idea of speculating that it is, and clearly making a point because of some sort of movement. This is where I kind of draw the line.
They have songs about beating women out. They have songs.
Well,
about
if you listen to, I mean, I'm sorry to kind of go against the rap industry. But if we're talking about things that are, that are happening in the nicer part of town, they're clearly talking about alcohol, drugs, killing, rape, like whatever it is, and nobody seems to care. And when it comes to like these old classics,
Yeah.
people are making a big deal out of it, and it's this double standard that kind of bothers me. But it's not like I want them to now say, oh, we don't want to hear this type of rap music, because music is expression.
I love all sorts of music.
Okay.
I really, really can't just justify, creativity. But in the other sense, if it's an artist that's done horrible, horrendous things, then obviously I won't listen to that artist.
Really?
Right?
Most people, in order for them to become rappers, back in the day, they had to have street cred.
Yeah,
and a lot of their stuff was like, oh, I got shot 5 times, so this is what makes me credible. They made like a whole fun of it back in the day.
Yes, it's true.
No, but like the whole Tupac gang, like everybody was involved there. They were all gangsters.
That's the life, though. That they were talking about their lives and
So,
what they were living, what they knew. It's not like they can get away from it.
But
that was their plight. That's
right.
what they have the right.
I'll go as far as saying
about that, right?
I'll go as far as saying that yes, that is their life. The songs themselves, I agree, but they were making this popular. They were talking about it in a way that was like kind of dressing it up, making it a cool thing.
Well, they were
back
doing that
days.
with rock and roll and dressing up Satanism or whatever with Kiss and all that jazz, with all the mothers complaining about Kiss and how they were promoting the devil and all that stuff. And look at it now. It literally compares to the same thing. It's just with this, it's because it's rap music. It's people find it offensive in some sort of way, and I find that if it's true rap music and it's true hip hop, it's those rappers are actually talking about their plight, their life, like what their family had to deal with.
Now I'm thinking about one right now.
Actually,
thong, 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 thong.
yeah, but that is more pop than rap music.
But a lot of it's
different, and that was like what 20 years ago. Cisco with the thong song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rappers now. I don't even consider them rappers, like the mumble rap game.
Yes.
None of those rappers are rappers, and most of them grew up in households that, had parents, and they weren't really, they aren't credible as rappers. They're just there as show. It's basically the new pop music is the new pop art is.
Well, it's been like this for a while.
Rap. You can say that, yes, but the last true artist that I guess can. I don't even know. Maybe 50 Cent was that cusp of where it changed.
Okay.
From actual plight of a person to dressed up hip hop or.
Well, take a look at Snoop Dogg. He completely changed his way.
Well,
I think Snoop Dogg today has more white friends than black friends.
No.
Listen, the back in the day, he used to hang out the West Coast, with the West Coast people. And today, I keep seeing him on all the shows and wherever he's at, and he's, enjoying the Hollywoodism.
He's what now? 50?
Yeah, he's old.
So the fact that he's out of that gangster lifestyle and is trying to reinvent himself.
I don't think it's the gangster lifestyle. I don't think he was always that much gangster. I think that's why I kind of like this stuff, because he wasn't so gangster. But like he
was there. Like he knew what it was about. He was on the streets.
Yeah, he's from Long Beach. He's from Long Beach, California. So definitely would know what it is. But I'm saying anyways, it's a little different. But
it's different. The topic, obviously, the music changes once your life changes, right? You can't be talking about hustling on the streets when you're obviously no longer hustling on the streets.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about previous times and still talking about the same stuff you would be talking about on your first album.
It was more. I'm not talking about what they've gone through. For me, it was more about the promotion. Like it became popular, and that's where kind of like I had an issue. And I grew up during that era, right? I grew up during the early '90s, where like Naughty by Nature,
Run DMC,
that was
Big
even
Daddy
before.
Kane,
LL Cool J when he was popular.
MC Lyte,
Love, Dr. Love. Do you remember him?
Come on, it was there hip
What was-
hop
what's the other-
artists of the late 80s and early 90s were about something. Now it's just, most of them have nothing to talk about, like with an exception of maybe a handful
Yeah.
that are still talking about real stuff, like Talib Kweli, Chance the Rapper. There's different artists that are.
It's funny how we went from like Seinfeld to talk about whether millennials, went too far, and somehow we took it in a complete different direction, talking about the music and the rap industry. But anyways, so some of the stuff, and I'm trying to bring us back to the Seinfeld because I think we kind of took off. The thing with the Seinfeld thing, I think people are getting ridiculously crazy, and it's time for us to really ignore all the BS that's out there. But because of social media, we get to see all these videos that pop up, and that's going to take me into the next segment, which is for you, Noah. We're going to be talking about, trannies, transsexuals, transgenders. I don't know how to say it properly. I apologize if I'm offending anyone. I clearly don't mean to do so. But right now, we're having this situation where I keep seeing on social media on a regular basis somebody being offended. There was a gentleman or a lady or whatever, I don't even know what to say, a transgender person, wasn't allowed into a bathroom at a Greek restaurant, I do believe, and they said, please, we can't allow you to walk into a man's bathroom. And the person made such a big deal out of it, and it's like, what was the problem? Just go into the other bathroom and talk to them later and explain it, but no, it had to become this big deal.
But maybe they had, they
what?
had every right to do so. You know what?
Well, no one's talking about rights. No one's talking about rights. It's not really so much about rights, but we kind of have to understand that not everybody's going to be in tune with everything that we're going through. And at the same time, a lot of parents today are worried that there are men, look, they're born men, and they have sometimes male parts, and they're worried that they would walk into a girl's bathroom. Sometimes I find it weird when men bring like little girls. We're talking like 10-year-old girls into the male bathroom. Sometimes it feels weird, but I'm like, well, that's the type of parenting this person has. But I have an issue with it, but I'm not going to form a complaint.
Well, more or less, if that's the case, they would use the family washer, right?
But sometimes you don't have it, right? So many times you have either male or female. And again, my big problem here is that they're making a big deal out of this. I can't believe I wasn't allowed in. Look, it's not going to be a fair world. And bottom line is, there's certain people that are going to see you as a woman, certain people are going to see you as a man. But if somebody is a transgender and they walked into the men's bathroom, what would happen to that person, right? But if you're going into the women's bathroom, there's people who kind of feel weirded out because at the end of the day, they see a man. And look, I don't have a problem. And it was a hard subject to bring up because there are more stories. I'll bring a few more. There was a lady man, again, a transgender person who walked into, I think, a video store or some sort of store, and the person needed to help out. So he said, hey guys, but the person thought he said sir, and he got all upset, and then he started misbehaving and kicking things around at the store and going all berserk. And this lady man, transgender, transsexual, whatever it is, clearly looked like a big man and was very violent like a man. And social media is either laughing at this or saying, I can't believe we need to fight for their right. But if you claim that you are something, and other people don't see you as that, then what really are you?
Well, that's the other people's problem with me.
So it's always the other people's problem?
To me, this is funny because for the longest time, transgender people were using the bathrooms that they felt were the bathrooms that they needed to be in.
What do you mean they felt? Like they went into the bathroom, so they would walk into...
If they were a female, they would go into the female washroom. If they were
but if they were a female that looked like a man, or because I need to understand.
Listen, there are some females that look like men. Either way,
look like or have the piece of.
You can't see if the piece is there when a person's wearing clothing. You don't know. The only people that really care are if you're walking into a place and one person who's older and doesn't get it finds it offensive.
I love it, that one person who's older who doesn't get it. There are a lot of people who don't get it, and they see it as a problem. Now, me personally, I don't care. I'm there to pee. You want to look at it, a man, girl, not a problem. It doesn't affect me personally. I really don't care. But I feel like society in a way is tilting towards one direction. Like, how could this person, how could somebody treat this person so badly? How could they treat him as like as somebody that he doesn't believe that he is? You know what I mean? Like, if I see somebody looks like a man, like if he asks me to call him ma'am, I'll be respectful to the person. But if I make a mistake and I call him sir because he clearly looks like a sir to me, he shouldn't be that upset at me, because at the end of the day, he's more of a sir to me than a man. I can see that it's a man. It's just with a wig. I understand it. I understand because I'm going to try and be respectful as a human being. But you can't bite my head off if I mix up the.
I understand that.
And then I feel like it's more about like literally biting people's heads off. Like that guy was losing his cool because the person called him sir.
Well, I've had instances where was wearing a hat and I was standing in line.
Yeah.
You can't see my hair, and I'm wearing baggy pants because I'm just finishing the gym or whatever it is, and I'm a tall girl. Like, I understand if like someone doesn't. The lady said, "Sir, next, please."
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up, and she's like, "Ooh." I'm like, "That's okay." I'm like, "I'm built like a sir."
Okay, clearly made a mistake,
like,
right?
It's all good.
Made a mistake. But I'm saying, like, to take it so personal. Now again, I don't live in their shoes, and I'm sure there's a lot of problems that they're dealing with. A lot. I actually I have other opinions on it, which I'm not going to share today, because I think it might not be for the right time. I would love to bring someone on who would give real perspective as opposed to myself, and for me to ask more of the questions than to pretend I know anything about what they're really going through. What did Noah write? Because it's a little bit far from me. So
the concern is those who would potentially take advantage of these new guidelines, rules under false pretenses, not genuine transgender people who have to pee. Where's the protection against that?
Right. So
that's a fair
concern. Again, as a parent, I'm not a parent, and
yeah.
I totally understand people taking advantage, and people are taking advantage of everything. So I feel like this rule is one of those like iffy rules.
It's one of those things where that's the only thing I'm saying is transgender people have been using their figured washroom this whole time without people actually caring. The only time people voiced their opinion but it was always basically legal.
Well, wait, no, it's not always basically legal, because if there's a man who's dressed up as a woman and walking into a woman's bathroom, not every woman would be okay with this.
No, but if a woman, because a woman can basically tell if it's a genuine man, like, fake dressed as a woman, or someone who is figuring out who they are.
So
like,
by sitting there in a toilet, they're like, oh, I could see that this person is not a real.
No.
What I'm saying is there's clearly concern, and I just feel like our society is really changing towards that. Like we have to be open to so many things, and it's happening all too fast. And like back in the day, you kind of black people were sitting in the back of the bus. They're now able to be a part of society.
Black people and Jews weren't, or any Latino.
No, but I'm saying like
weren't allowed to use the same water fountain as white people.
100%. But I'm saying, but there was a progression. Like it kind of took time. There was this, revolution that took place, and now I just feel like everything is happening at once. Sorry.
It's still happening.
What's still happening?
The revolution. You think
no, but I'm saying like specific revolutions, like. Right now, there's the PC revolution that I'm not for. I speak my mind, and listen, I have to have half a brain to know that at certain times I can't say the entire truth. It's like if I see a beautiful lady, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm thinking about having sex with you right now, right? Instead, I would be like, that's lovely hair you got. Did you just get a haircut, right? So that would be my thing, right? But at the same time, I feel like we're being so PC that it's getting to a point where I shouldn't even be talking to that lady at all. It's like I have to really think about every word that I'm going to use because I might offend her or anybody that's around. And our society is literally walking on eggshells.
It's so true. I agree that our society is walking on eggshells, but at this point, I feel if people are genuine with who they are and what they actually care about and aren't truly malicious, it's not going to be perceived as malicious. Like, people say when you send a text message, right?
Mhm.
A person can read it one way,
Right.
they can read it another way, or
Right.
they can read it the right way,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So
Or the way the person intended it to be.
exactly.
Okay.
So the same could be said when it comes to things online, right? Or
Yeah.
if someone's saying,
But you got to be smarter. Like if you are Trump and you've been told so many times stop tweeting,
mhm,
maybe at some point like stop tweeting. I get it, it's your right, but stop it. Like you're actually you're hurting yourself. And I say that to like a lot of people when I talk to them. It's that how does this serve you? You know, if like your tweet is going to serve you in some way,
yeah,
then use it. But if you're seeing that you're questioning whether it's going to hurt you or not, you already know that you're somewhere in there, and there's going to be a possibility of you getting in trouble. There's a lot of you out there that I know, especially on Facebook land, who sometimes don't know the difference. You know, they feel like they can spew everything that they want, and then when they get in trouble, but then when they get in trouble, they're like, I can't believe I got in trouble for this. Well, by the way, and I'm last year when I first started. It's funny. It's a year, by the way, since the show's been on. Happy anniversary to us.
happy anniversary, happy
So
anniversary.
last year when Mira was with me, I remember I made a comment about something that somebody said, and it blew out of proportion. It became something much, much bigger. So at certain points, like we have to be smart about, you know, how we view things, how we read into things, and.
But that's everyone's perception, and
Right.
that's how people. If people have like one of those complexes where they need like, you know, that Munchausen syndrome or whatever it is, Munchausen syndrome, when people need pity and
Mhm.
they give drugs or they pretend that they have cancer, or someone that they know have cancer and they need like all this attention.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Attention seekers. That's what it comes down to. So let's move to another topic.
Can we talk about one thing that I wanted to talk
Yeah,
about?
sure.
Because I'm really excited
So
about
yeah, I don't know why it's not on the board, but yeah,
well,
absolutely.
it's right down here,
Okay.
right?
So go ahead. You can bring up the
So,
topic.
I'm bringing this up because I'm really excited about this new show that came out. You talked about a show, I wanted to jump into and talk about a show.
Okay.
It's called The Masked Singer.
The Masked Singer. Okay.
So it's like celebrities or performers
Mhm.
from the past and the present,
Mhm.
dressed up in full garb,
Mhm.
and their voices are obviously masked
Mhm.
and changed until they actually have to sing. And that's the only time you can hear their real, true voice
Okay.
is when they sing.
Okay.
And the judges are Robin Thicke, Kim Jong,
Okay.
and
Kim Jong.
Ken Jong.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For
Sorry.
a second, I was like, Kim Jong Un is like going to be a judge. What? Okay. All right.
Ken Jong,
The guy from.
the Dr. Ken,
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes.
The Hangover,
Okay.
and Nicole Scherzinger.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the four of them.
Is this like a Russian show? Like, I mean, was it originally
No, I
Russian?
believe it was a Japanese show. I think
Okay.
it went viral last
Why are
year
you ripping?
because I need to get rid of my gum.
So let's do it live. We're gonna rip a piece of paper and get rid of my
It's
gum.
all good.
Okay.
It's all good. People need to see the reality of this.
Right. Okay.
And Ryan Reynolds did this show last year. Went viral.
Mhm.
He was dressed up in like this costume and
Mhm.
then revealed himself.
Okay.
And it ended up being a Deadpool thing. Like, I don't know if you remember this. It went viral last year.
I
Some
don't,
people
because
might not.
I'm not with it when it comes to social media
Mhm.
as much as other people.
So he did this last year,
Mhm.
and this year they're doing it American style.
Mhm.
So no, not from Japan. It's from America.
Mhm.
And they have the six contestants that are on now.
Mhm.
One got voted off already.
Mhm.
It was Antonio Brown.
Okay.
From, spoiler alert, my bad.
Is this a football guy? Antonio
Football
Brown?
player.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
So he got voted off,
Mhm.
and now there's 5 contestants left,
Mhm.
and one is the peacock, one is the unicorn, there's the lion, the deer, and the monster. And you have to guess who they are. They give you clues throughout the show,
Mhm.
and what happens is,
Where can I
you
watch this, by the way? Because I've never heard of this.
I think it's on NBC. No,
And-
sorry, my bad, Fox.
It's on Fox. Okay.
It's on Fox.
Okay.
So.
Is this because Dancing with the Stars didn't get like, you know?
Wasn't that on NBC?
Is it? See, I don't know. No, I thought for some reason
Is that
Dancing
on
with the
Fox
Stars
too?
on Fox for some reason.
Maybe it is. I have
don't
no
know.
idea. I don't watch that.
I don't watch any of those shows, so
So
no cable television. It's true.
online, you can watch anything
Mhm.
online
Okay.
nowadays. So you have to guess by the clues that they give you. So they talk about their background, and they say like things like, oh, I come from a family, and they shoot like a little montage of where they came from. So it'll have like the Beverly Hills sign, but it won't say Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a prestigious family. And so Nick Cannon was introducing one of the contestants, and he introduced him as a colorful performer. And through the montage, he was giving clues, like, you know, I used to be on your mom's wall, but I'm no longer on there. And I looked in Vegas vibes, and I guessed Donny Osmond,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Right.
And so Sean's watching this with me, and I'm freaking out because I'm guessing them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, who do you think that is? And I guessed the football player, right?
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now they have 5 contestants left, and next week there's going to be more contestants.
And what do they win, and why are we watching the show?
It's just for fun, and you get to guess the contestants and see who can actually sing and who can't.
Gotcha.
And you don't know who the singers are. Sometimes they're professional singers. Sometimes they're obviously athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're socialites or children.
So you get to hear their voice, and by that you would know exactly who they are?
You would try to guess who they are
based
by
on
the
their
clues, their singing, and the clues that they give you, you know, while their montage is going on.
Anybody else watch this show? Because I really, but again, I'm not with it when it comes to television. Like now, I don't have time for TV, unfortunately, even though anything from 5 years ago and backwards I can give you all the information, but now I just don't know. Nothing. I literally do not
I
know
I saw this show.
I'm going to watch Bird Box though.
I watched that.
Did you? Okay, so
don't
tell me anything because I'm going to
The only
watch
thing I'm going to tell you is do not do the challenge after.
Okay. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Because that's the first challenge of the new year, is doing the Bird Box challenge.
Okay. Well, I need to know what it's all about first.
Oh, walking a full 24 hours blindfolded.
Not
or not walking, or doing your daily tasks blindfolded for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. I drive all the time.
People were recording themselves blindfolded driving. It's very stupid and dangerous.
All right.
You know, a millennial thing.
That's the problem. Next time, millennials, I have a challenge for you. Go to the attic and have the pink stuff on the wall.
I have a new challenge
just
for
enjoy
you.
it. It's cotton candy, and it's delicious for you, and it does a body good like milk. Let's move on to this is one I know that you're not really involved in, but I want to talk a little bit about it.
All right.
America decided to pull out of Syria. A lot of people are applauding it. A lot of people are against it. They claim that they defeated ISIS, which is big news. But some people are saying ISIS is not defeated. You cannot really defeat these types of people. They're
everywhere.
Every day there's like a new member.
They're like City TV everywhere.
Right. Is that still the slogan for City TV?
I have no idea.
I'm that old. No cable, so I have no idea.
It's probably. Yeah? Why would they get rid of that?
Because they change everything. So.
Yeah, because they split up the company. Rogers bought one half. Bell bought another half.
Of City TV? Of
that channel system. It was CP24, Channel 7. It was that whole conglomerate.
Gotcha.
They split it.
Okay, well,
somehow.
Again, taking us off, we'll go back to Syria for a second.
Oh, yeah.
So they left, and now there's kind of a situation where Iran, wants to have some control. Russia wants to have control. Even Turkey wants to have control. And I think it's some scary times for that region. As much as I don't think that American troops should be everywhere. And
isn't Assad still in control?
Yeah, well, somewhat like that. Yeah, I mean they're keeping him in control because he owes a lot of money to the Russians and everyone else, and they kind of have to control their puppet. Because Assad really isn't doing much except for his administration is killing innocent Syrians and people within the region. What I mean by not doing much, I mean that they're not really controlling anything except for causing war, which, by the way, they're still at war since, I don't know, already, 8 years, if not more?
I'm so sick of war. I am so sick of war.
You're sick of war, but it's funny because, and I agree with you, and I like the fact that you said it, but there's a big problem. People that are in the States or Canada that sit here and say that they're sick of war, I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, I say to myself, you're not really involved in war, you yourselves.
Yeah.
You're not seeing it at your borders. You're not seeing things regularly. How many people died how many American soldiers died in Iraq last year?
I don't know.
Well, they're not in Iraq, right? So we don't even know what's going on because it doesn't touch us.
They're in Afghanistan still, aren't they?
No, they left. You know, like they left a lot of places, and they're leaving. So, but the point is, we don't really know much because it doesn't affect us. It's, you know, what's in the news today. But I feel
they
like
pick and choose what we see, right?
yes, but I think we've become also desensitized to a lot of the things that are out there. Like back in the day, if you would have heard somebody getting their heads chopped off, it would have been like huge news. Oh my God, I can't believe it. How could they? And today it's like, well, it's expected.
Another day.
How many today? And that's kind of like a big problem. By the way, what is allowed writing? Unless it's in caps.
Unless
Probably
it's all in caps.
he's probably trying to get me on the Happy National Technology Day. I'm guessing, or the Prickly Pear Show. But this person's an agitator, so he'll always have something to say. He wants to be relevant. So Elad, here you are. You're relevant for today, if that's what you're talking about. Right, this is not something clearly maybe not really a conversation for us. So I could tell you want to move off of this Syria conversation. So moving to something a little bit of the same, but it's Brazil. Brazil now has this new president, and he's called like the ultra-right president.
Okay.
And he's kind of cleaning stuff up. However, while he's cleaning stuff up, there's so many positives and there are plenty of negatives.
Always.
Always, right? But the negatives, in some ways, I don't want to say they outshine the positives, but it's like he's being very brutal with a lot of the citizens because he's trying to crack down on drugs and just crime.
Like they all say, that's what we're going to be doing.
Right,
down
but there's also stuff right now that he's dealing with when it comes to homosexuals. Because he's ultra right. He's going against a lot of things that were passed on.
Is he going in the Chechnya route?
Not the Chechnya route. Let's not go extreme here.
Okay.
But definitely things that are not 21st century-esque.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, you have Israel's prime minister and maybe Trump and all that, like working with this guy and giving him sort of approval because he's now trying to become friends. And I just feel like we're putting ourselves in a situation where if you're today good friends with Trump or good friends with this president, at some point it's going to backfire because you're supporting something,
it's already
right?
Backfiring.
100%, especially when you throw in again the Israel part with any of those countries.
On top of that, any country that shows any support to Israel is always on a watch list in other.
Yeah, but it's more along the lines of like us even as Jews or us even as regular people looking at it and saying, well, I get it that like we want to have great ties with Brazil and it's fantastic, but is there a price to be paid afterwards considering that he is ultra right? Now, Israel basically would befriend anyone or any country that will work with them.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, Israel won't necessarily support what it is that they do. So, like, if you look at gay rights within Israel, I mean, they're the best gay rights forget just the Middle East, in the world.
The parade in Tel Aviv every year.
How about in Jerusalem, the holiest of cities, and they still allow it to happen?
It's amazing.
So yeah,
it's so beautiful. It's probably one of the best. I've seen parades. I've been to the one in Berlin. I've been to the one in Vienna in Austria. I was actually in a newspaper in Vienna.
Really?
Yeah, the day after the parade
Is it sad that I've never actually been to a gay parade?
Really? I've been to the one here like late 90s, like mid 90s to mid 2000s. I was going basically every single year before it exploded to what it is right now, and the craziness.
It was outside my house.
It
was outside my house when I was living in Los Angeles, because I lived in West Hollywood, so it was literally on Santa Monica Boulevard. But that day I just didn't go out, or I was somewhere else. I don't know. But like I've never participated. It's something we should do in the summer. Go
I
to
would
like the
love
gay parade,
to.
maybe go live and just kind of like interview people from there.
That would be
That'd
great. Cool. I would love that. It would be so much fun. I love that parade.
So the question was with regarding to the Brazilian.
Get some corn.
The question with regards to the Brazilian president is it good that we?
How we deflected.
Well, we've been deflecting. It's okay. It's my job to bring it back.
Yeah.
The idea of like showing support publicly for someone that is sort of, playing two sides, like being very right wing about things that, in my opinion, need to be right wing, but still being right wing about things that I think need to be more left wing.
But that's politics. That's how it is with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain politicians that are on camera in the early mid 90s saying that they're not for gay rights. They don't believe in them. They want like traditional families and this and that. And you know, in the early 2000s, they were still on the cusp, and now they're like all for gay rights.
Right.
You know, it's just
So
a
times are
matter
changing.
it's a matter of people changing, lives around us changing, people realizing, you know, the stigmas aren't what they are. Like, you know, what you see is what you get. It's not, you know, what you read about is what you get. Don't judge a book by its cover. And I'm hoping that people's minds are opening up more or less.
Oh, they are. I think, I don't know if I actually didn't speak to you, I spoke to somebody else, that when I was 16, I can admit I was very much, I don't want to say the word anti-gay because I didn't really know what it means, but I thought it was something horrible. Like if you would call me gay, I'd be very upset, and it would be something that was one of the most offensive things to say.
Anytime anyone called me gay, I'd be like, yep, I'm happy.
No, but that's the thing. Like today I don't see it the same way at all. And it's and we're not even talking today. We're talking about the last 20 years, where I don't care. Like I used to even play like a stupid. I used to do this like character in school just to play off so people leave me alone. But it was, but I could see how like we're evolving as people because even within myself, I could see the change where I thought this was something so negative, and today I'm an advocate in a way for the gay community because I know what they're going for. What they're fighting for. Now, sometimes, of course, like anything, because we clearly started the show with talking about transvestites, I think there just needs to be some sort of a border. I can't be for everything just because it's, you know, it's for everyone's rights. It's just not going to happen. There's certain things that I don't want to say agree or disagree with, but that I don't feel as passionately about it. You know, sometimes I feel like maybe I need to be educated more on it to have a better opinion.
That's how it is with most people. It's like education is key for progression, right?
Well, yeah.
You'd hope that once a person is educated on the fact, they would learn and grow and change and
well, but it depends on the type of education, right? Like you're talking about, you know, Nazi Germany being one of the most educated people. No, but it's true. You're not talking about some people from a village.
But like that's also.
So there's a type of education, right?
That's also people twisting things and people believing one person and going with
not just
with
one person,
with a bunch of other people who are following essentially a belief of one individual.
No, they didn't. This is something it's funny. We didn't mean to get into it, but it wasn't the belief of one individual. This was the belief of society as a whole. He was just a guy that was able to rally them up. He was just a guy that said, "Hey, you know clearly that the Jew, you know, like is not a real German. You know, he can pretend all he wants. That business that he has belongs to you. You can have it." And that person's like, who's struggling financially, is like, "Yeah, I'll vote for that guy. Like, I want that guy's business. He's not even German. He's a Jew." Right? So these things didn't happen from this one person. I think, not that I'm going to say something so horrible right now, that Hitler got a bad rap. Clearly, it's not the point, right? I meant.
Thank God there's like.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
as soon as you said that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that Hitler, you know, kind of like it's not just about Hitler. It's so much more. It's the ideology. It's how it's anti-Semitism. It's much more than just him. Let's move to China. Two things about China apparently just landed on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Right?
That was crazy.
But it's weird to me. So I've been watching like the cosmos and a lot of things in terms of the cosmos for a very long time, and they know so many things about space, and they'll tell you what the atmosphere in like, you know, 100 million light years away, and they'll draw pictures. And just now we're getting footage of the other side of the moon. Something to me is like odd about space when it comes, and I love space. It's one of my favorite things. If I could fall asleep to anything.
I think the problem with space is if we as humans, like plebeians, the ones that aren't in the know within, you know, the governments and the space,
would freak out because of what's out there.
Yeah, I think that's what they're truly trying to protect us from, because they're like, if you motherfuckers even knew what we know, you'd lose your mind. You'd be like, so what's the point of this? What is the fucking whole point of this? I think that is truly, because that's all it takes is, like we were just saying, a bunch of people as a collective going, oh, so there are aliens? And then the people will start questioning God. They'll start questioning a whole bunch of other stuff.
And
then
here's an opportunity to start fresh.
Chaos in society.
Here's an opportunity to start a new life.
So start the apocalypse?
Well, there has to come a time where we all would agree on one thing, and we all know that this one thing is true.
Well,
right?
certain people do believe it's true. Certain people believe that there are UFOs out there.
Well,
and
I believe
they
in
still
this.
believe in
Look,
God.
but I don't know if UFOs and God and all that kind of go against each other, because I don't. Again, it's not really a topic I want to discuss because I don't know too much about it. But I don't know if one goes against the other.
Why would it? There has to be a creator to everything.
Right. So the idea is they're not all of a sudden, oh, I don't believe in God.
But we might be a whole science experiment, and the UFOs are in that said experiment.
Gotcha.
Maybe the UFOs are the experiment, and we are what derived from that experiment.
But the question
to
start off was, how is it that only now we're getting footage of the other side of the frickin' moon that is right here, but yet we know all this information about so many other things, and just now it's coming out?
Well, that's what they want.
That's what who wants?
That's what
the
government wants. That's what the collective space programs
want. So you believe there is there are these people that are sitting somewhere and saying, this is the type of information we're going to provide. This is the type of information we're going to provide.
They can't have open information to the public. That is why they have top secret files and classified files.
Can you imagine saying the internet, 30 years ago would have been available? People would have been like, there's no way. And look at today, all the information that's out there. So why not why not have real information? Why not have real information to provide the people? Maybe we have a starting point. Okay, this is real.
See, but that's the thing. There is real information out there, but the real information is also mixed in with false information, so you don't know what's real and what's fake.
So provide the real information. So now you, the government, that we trust government.
Yeah, but then if you provide the real information, then people are going to do more digging.
Okay, so great, do more
digging.
digging.
Once people do more digging, then the government is in trouble because you have a shit ton of people trying to dig into the past and
Yeah, but we know that. But we know that. That's why so many people are being fired for their past and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, still on the China topic, something that kind of relates to the first thing we were talking about kids being at home. China has a big problem today with glasses. So apparently a lot of children are coming in with problems with their eyes.
Wow.
So it's like a big thing. And
do you think it has to do with pollution? Maybe?
So funny you bring the pollution. They're not even talking about pollution as being the issue. They're talking about video games. They're talking about people spending too much time in front of the screens.
Yeah, but how old are these children?
So we're not talking about children, 3 years old. We're talking about kids.
15, 16,
like 13,
teenagers,
12, a lot of them are coming.
Or teens?
Absolutely. So from the day that you're able to play a video game, and it makes perfect sense.
Well, yeah, because when we were young, our parents said, "Don't sit next so close to the TV. You'll ruin your eyes." And what are kids growing up doing?
But that's the thing. So they're playing video games. Good job. They're playing video games, on their phones. They're playing video games. All that. They're always looking at the screen, and I feel the same way.
Really close to their face.
Right.
And these screens are essentially, because they're so little, that you have to think they're equivalent to an iPad screen for us, or maybe even a small laptop, like a 15-inch laptop. These little phones are the equivalent to that for a little child.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
So
it's literally
the
having
solution,
a screen in front of your face.
As much as the video game industry is amazing, and it's already killing Hollywood in terms of sales, because people are, Fortnite and all those games that are coming out.
I don't even know. I just know that they're being sued by a bunch of people for stealing their dance moves.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Carlton,
and the backpack kid with the floss, and then another guy with another dance.
Yeah, they're using their likelihood. I don't know.
And the hammer style.
But that's just people trying to make money off of it. That's really what it is. It's hey, if you're going to be using my Carlton dance, might as well throw me some shekels. That's what it comes down to. But the thing is, it's a new year, and maybe it's cold outside. I'm not going to say maybe it's cold outside, but it's cold outside. But send your kids out. Make them stop playing these video games, or have them do something else. I hate the fact that our society.
On my legs. I have so many scars on my legs.
Maybe not have scars on the legs, but go run around, play, get dirty, let kids be kids.
Build up your immune system.
Yes, absolutely. And that's another thing. It's actually, we're slowly killing ourselves, because that's what's happening. we're not taking
relying
care of
on
our
drugs.
the food that we're eating, everything about it. Everything
Our
about it is
food
like,
changed completely in the
Oh,
last
yeah.
20 years.
there's no question.
We're basically eating all genetically modified food.
Yes.
That's basically all
That's
we're
why
eating.
people are getting sick today. I think
Yeah.
that's
We
a
don't
big
have
part.
any natural food, and when it is natural, it's so bloody expensive,
Yeah.
and it goes bad really quickly because it is so. It's basically natural. It's fresh from the ground and at your table within the week of it coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
And so you basically have like maybe a 3-4 day lifespan on the food by the time it's in your home. So that's how you know it's real. If it's
No,
lasting in your refrigerator for like 4 weeks, then there's something fucking wrong.
So this is Technology Day. So it's funny we're talking about, all these subjects when it comes to Technology Day.
Yeah.
Like technology clearly is making life easier for us, simpler, but it's creating a lot more problems that I don't think we even expected. Even weather-wise, we're talking. One of the topics was about the weather changes.
Destroying our. God, we're destroying everything. All the copper we're taking out of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
All the minerals we're taking out of the earth.
Yep.
Like these are, like this copper and these minerals and these rocks, this magnesium is in the earth and it's keeping our equator the way it is for a reason. It's keeping the sun where it is for a reason. Once you start taking these fossils and these minerals out of the earth, you're basically going to be changing the earth's atmosphere. You're going to be changing
Right.
its access. You're going to be changing everything.
So weather changes. That's kind of like a part of our last segment, which is like a big cactus, small cactus.
Yeah.
So the idea behind the weather changes, it hasn't been a cold winter thus far. Like it's been pretty great, no complaints. Malibu is having floods. There's tsunamis happening.
Yeah.
Certain hurricanes that are coming through.
It's insane. The videos I've seen.
Asia is
terrifying.
kind of falling apart.
It's
So,
terrifying.
but it's funny though. I've noticed something weird about the Earth that almost every 7 or so years there's like a drastic change, right?
Well, we as human beings, our DNA changes every 7 years. So why wouldn't the Earth's DNA change every 7
Right.
years?
So is it our fault by changing the climate, meaning by what we're doing to the Earth, or is it just one of those things that changes on its own every 7 years?
Well, I think as a human being race, as a society, we're speeding up the process, if you ask me.
Mhm.
I think that if we kept it natural and organic and kind of like in the beginning stages where we didn't use that many fossils and didn't put that much monoxide into the atmosphere and these gases that are killing us and our atmosphere. Yes, they're saying that the ozone layer is finally the hole is slowly.
Well, we're doing something about it. That's
starting
for
to,
sure.
like,
By recycling,
close
by
up. Yeah.
planting, like we are giving back. Like we realize there's a problem.
But at the same time, like all this giving back, we're still creating more garbage instead of recycling what we have.
Well, yeah.
Like there's, even in Israel, I saw like it literally, like it blew my mind. And when I was in Eilat, I saw a car parking lot, but it was acres and acres and acres and acres of cars. Like this, I'm talking about as far as the eye can see, just cars in the desert. And they were just sitting there.
Okay.
And they're not being moved for a long time from what we were told.
Well, why?
Because they need to be bought, but they're there and no one's buying them.
Okay. So what's the
And
problem?
so the problem is like look at all that material
Oh,
that's
okay.
being wasted.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we're
but
creating shit that we
That's
don't
right.
need to create
Yeah.
when we have perfectly good stuff that we need to use instead of it becoming so cheap that it can just come off the shelves and once it gets bad, we recycle that and like start anew.
Well, just think about
No,
your
we're-
fridge. How many times you go and you buy groceries and you literally only eat half of it, then you completely waste the food.
And you waste the
You
food.
waste a lot of food. We're just a wasting society.
I just recently like threw out freezer burned chicken bones. But
You bought
mind
chicken
you,
bones?
I bought them a long time ago.
Okay.
And my freezer was running really cold at one point.
Mhm.
And some stuff got freezer burned, and I didn't notice that this chicken got freezer burned as well, so I didn't throw it out then. I just threw it out. Obviously, I
Oh,
felt
we're-
really bad about doing
course.
that. Like, I throw out sometimes stuff that I don't use, or half the stuff that I I did use and I didn't use a little bit of it, and I'll throw it out and I'll feel guilty about it. But at the same time, you know, there's so much more that, do we need to have all these millions of televisions made? Why can't they be made to order? Yeah, it'll cost us a little more, but at least it'll be done.
But you just said it. Everything comes down to money. We want everything now. This is the society. Like you remember, like even the internet. There used to be, it would have that, and how long it would exactly.
Yeah, and if someone picked up the phone, your connection would be lost.
And today, it's like, you know, if it doesn't happen like right away, like we lose it. Just like the show, you know, like we gotta have it.
Same goes for cars.
Yeah, same goes for everything.
I believe the best generation for when cars were made was 65 to 82.
I couldn't even agree or disagree on that because
like the 90s were great. Certain cars were good, like, you know, they were still putting.
Well, they were using also different. They were also using different parts for those cars.
People, yes, different
real,
parts
like
and
real
parts, and real people were actually keeping an eye on how the cars were manufactured. There was literally precision to these cars. Now everything is made out of fucking plastic.
Well,
and what are they saying to stop using? Plastic.
Well, it's not really plastic that is just
fiberglass. It's like it's melted plastic. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, there needs to be changes, and we are ruining the environment. So we need to be more cautious of it.
Think about all the little computer stuff that we use. All those mainframes, the hard drives.
Yeah.
That is all materials, the copper in that, like it's crazy.
No,
people don't realize how much of this stuff actually truly goes to waste.
There's no
Your
question.
Phone.
But we recycle stuff now.
We recycle
phones.
But there's a lot of stuff in the phone you can't recycle anymore.
Well, you could just give them the phone and they recycle.
Yes, but you can't recycle a lot of the stuff inside the phone. Where does that go? Landfill. What is it? Plastic.
Big cactus, small cactus, getting back to reality. Like this has been like 3 weeks of. I have no idea what day of the week this is. I have no idea what's the date.
I knew.
You knew because you were working.
I was working. I worked Boxing Day.
So you knew.
Good times.
I didn't. I remember waking up. I think it was January 3rd, and I had no idea what day it was. Didn't know what day of the week. Like I had no idea. It was like all of a sudden, when kids are off school and when parents are home and with their kids, like, and it's dark out.
Yeah.
Just have no idea, and I know that when the kids go back to school, and I kind of wrote that today on my Facebook wall, that's when we really know that, like, okay, it's going to be January 7th tomorrow, and from now on we're going to keep track of every day.
It was kind of nice, like, going to work and not having as much traffic. Mind you, the traffic came on the sale days. That was ridiculous because I work around Yorkdale. Oh, I hate that area during any sort of sale, like Boxing Day, Black Friday.
Makes sense.
Like any of those times, I hate that area so much. So much.
I'm still surprised that people are still buying stuff from stores.
I love going to the store.
I like the idea of sitting online and just looking at all the merchandise.
I love moving my ass. I like touching it. I like feeling it.
Out.
I like
do you like Best Buy?
Yeah.
The Best Buy by Yorkdale, they just fixed it up.
Where the Home Depot plazas?
Where
the LCBO is,
yes,
and the Michaels, and
incredible.
Costco.
I went in there the other day because we need to get some parts, and it was just like a mall. It was really, really amazing.
Really?
So if anybody out there, going. So lastly, so getting back to reality, and the one is Toronto just ranked top 10 in terms of pay increase. And everybody, Hungary, by the way, is number 1 on that list. And what are we looking at? Like, do we feel it? Do we feel like there's a pay increase? Because I feel like there's, pay increase by the same time everything is going up.
The only this pay increase is affecting are the people that are working part-time.
That's
it.
Yeah.
And it's truly affecting the people who have been working for 3-4 years trying to get that $15, $16, $17 an hour from their companies. And
extra or just that?
Just that, like, because the start off was, what was it, $11 when it was minimum wage?
Well, minimum wage now is what, $14, $15?
Now it is, but like for 4 or 5 years, like, people think about it.
Yeah.
They were trying to get to this place of $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Well, now all these people are making that what they are from the get-go, and they're working part-time, and now they don't have to pay taxes either. So this person who's working full-time just because they're getting more hours, they have to pay more taxes than the person's making less money.
Right.
Now that person making less money is technically making more money than the person
Working
working full-time,
Yeah.
because now the full-time worker has to offset the part-time worker's non-payment of their taxes.
So there's always going to be those changes. That's the bottom line. But
and we're all being affected because all the prices of everything is going up to offset the jump in the raise of minimum wage.
But take a look how we're looking at something like this, like as a pay raise, and we're still looking at it as negative. Like we still have, there's so much more to fix.
But it shouldn't be a pay raise unless the market of our actual food costs stays the same.
Yeah.
The pay raise is going up, but the food cost is going up the same with it. So what's the difference? You're literally paying more now for everything. So the pay raise is null and void. That extra, $75 a week if you're lucky,
Yeah. And you're
before
working a lot more.
taxes,
Yeah.
before taxes, so your take home is maybe 50.
So you know what the lesson here is: get an education or become a business person where
Yeah.
you can then ask for whatever it is that you think you deserve.
Yeah, and hope that your company doesn't get bought out by the Americans and you don't get laid off.
Whoa! You took it too far. So this is I want to wish you an amazing year. This is going to be great. We're going through these changes. As you can tell, we have the
What's
bar
the
up.
year? What is the year of in the Chinese?
Pig.
Is it?
It's the year of the pig.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I don't know what that really means about anything. I don't know what any of
I'm a
those
rat.
animals. You're a rat?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sheep or a ram. One of those. Well, same thing.
No, I'm saying the year is a rat. Sheep or a ram, you're born in March, April, right?
No, ram is also an animal within those 12 months, just like the pig is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a rat and then a ram.
You're a rat and a ram, meaning so you're born in April.
April.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm Pisces, but
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with it.
So it's,
The year of the...
yeah, Pisces. My brother's a Pisces.
That's great.
Yeah. What day are you again?
I'm on the 11th, so for
My
those who
brother's
want
the
to...
second.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Thailand during that time, so that's going to be
and
amazing.
I'm gonna have this show all to myself.
Well, if you get the keys, then yes, you can do that. I want to wish you an amazing year. I want to wish everybody else out there an amazing year. Next week we're going to have Noah Grad on the show.
Yeah.
That's
We're
going to be
talking
actually this is
about the stuff that we were kind of talking about.
yeah, we're going to
today.
be talking a little bit more. So a little bit about Noah's story is she is she's an Israeli who grew up in a predominantly Jewish home, kosher, the works, and ended up marrying a non-Jew, and sort of like talking a little bit about how she felt being in that surrounding, because she's trying to educate her kids to get a
Do
little bit of both cultures. How does it affect the family? I know you're dating also a non-Jew, so sort of like maybe the questions is going to be something very interesting.
Yeah.
And for the crowds, because within our community, there's, especially today, a lot of converts and a lot of people who don't really care about the religion.
Yeah,
But you're a Jew?
Well, no, yeah, Sean isn't really religious.
Mhm.
So anything that we would be doing for our children would be more or less for him out of respect for me and my beliefs.
So if there was Christmas,
If it, we would, I want to do Christmas. I
so
would
so
I would
so
do
already
Hanukkah.
you're going against.
No, but we would do Christmas in the sense of we would celebrate the family time together.
Yeah, but
You
you're
know,
still.
and we would be doing that.
I get it. Yeah.
Because that's his tradition, that's his family's tradition.
So but there's certain families where that wouldn't happen, right? So that's the idea. Like if you're really going to convert to Judaism and going through the proper way.
He's not going to be converting.
Right. So we're going to be talking a little bit
expect him
about
to do
this.
that.
I have plenty of opinions on it because I'm torn. Because in some ways I feel like preserving Jewishness and all that, and having a Jewish family, and I think it's great. But at the same time, you can't ignore that you live in a diaspora, and there are people out there that you sometimes can't help who you fall in love with. You can't help in terms of how the dynamic is going to work, and sometimes you plan things. What's the saying? You plan, God laughs. Right?
Yeah, you want to make God laugh.
Yeah,
make plans.
right? So, but I'd love to talk about that topic and anything else Noah will bring to the table. Very amazing professional. But thank you to you guys, the audience that are watching us every week and dedicated, sending us questions, connecting with us on a regular basis. Note, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be broadcasting off of YouTube. We have our own channel, so we want to get everybody on there. We're
It's
still
gonna
going to be
be good
posting
times.
the link on Facebook, so we are going to also be doing live from Facebook, but YouTube will now be our new home. Hopefully by then we'll be able to get the two cameras that are working through. The green screen will no longer look green, we're just showing
The
you what it looks like.
microphone will stop looking like this and it'll look real.
What do you mean? It is a real microphone.
I know, but it doesn't work right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, 'cause it's not plugged in. But otherwise, you know, we're looking forward to having an amazing year with you. And, you know, maybe next week I'll bring like a little nice cake to celebrate our 1 year anniversary of having the show.
I'll make a cake.
I need it to be, I can't eat bread, so it's kind of a problem for me. So
What
I
do you mean you
literally,
can't eat bread?
I am no, as
I
of
can make you
tomorrow,
a tres leche cake,
whatever that means.
which is the least amount of flour in a cake that I can make.
So let's make that. So we're gonna hold you accountable. What is it called?
It's a tres leche cake.
Tres
You're not
leche
lactose. You're not lactose.
I'm not
intolerant.
lactose intolerant,
Okay,
and if I am, I don't
tres
mind
leche
sitting in the
means
bathroom.
3 milk cake, and
You do that.
it's amazing.
You,
yeah.
you bring that cake, and we'll
Yeah.
celebrate because a part of my responsibility for myself from last year was to have a show. So let's leave off with one last thing. What do you hope is your resolution for this year? What do you hope to do?
Truly, I just hope to work on the show and my other show, The Daily Rhapsody, and continue doing exactly what I set myself out to do, and saying yes to myself more instead of preventing myself from going after what I want, because, you know, my true challenge is myself. Like, I'm the only person holding myself back, and that is my goal, is not to have self-doubt, is to push forward and have self-belief and the strength to know that I can do this, because I literally have like enough people telling me, why don't you see this, why don't you see what we see, why don't you believe in yourself the way we believe in
So
you?
it's the year of taking responsibility for your actions.
Yeah, I just want to believe in myself the way other people see me, and that is what my New Year's resolution is, see myself the way others see me.
That's funny. I actually would say something different about myself, taking the same note, but saying that I want to see myself as I see myself, rather than what other people see me as. So,
Well, other people see me as a person who should be doing this as a profession.
but do you see it?
I do see it, but
So why
like
do you need those
I
people?
prevented myself from doing this for so long because I told myself, you're the type of person who has a big mouth and you can get yourself into trouble and this and that,
Okay.
and maybe no one will find you funny and no
So
one
you
will
do
take
care.
you seriously.
So you do care. So it is.
Yeah, I did care
Mhm.
within myself,
Mhm.
and it was, sometimes I couldn't see that I was preventing myself from taking that next step forward. And people were just like, well, why can't you just do it? Like, we see that you can, like, just do it.
Yeah, but again, you go back to that. We see that you can. Like it had to come from me.
It had to come
And,
from within,
I didn't care like how people saw. Like let's just say there are people out there who say, Ron, this is not for you. Don't do the show. And I'll be like, okay,
I'm sure,
well,
like,
that's
there's people
for
who
you.
say that for me too,
Yeah.
but like, again, like, it was everyone who was saying that we see this within you.
Mhm.
It wasn't within myself. I wasn't seeing that. Yeah, I saw that I can do this, but I didn't really believe, which is why I wasn't doing anything.
Got it. Okay.
Right? So
Well,
for
glad
me,
now you have
it
an
was that-
opportunity.
Well,
with the
I
show on
always
your
had
own.
the opportunity. It was just me. I could have not messaged you, right?
Right.
I
Absolutely.
could have 100%, and I was sitting there going for that whole day, because I messaged you at the end of the day, and you posted that message in the beginning.
Possibly.
Yeah. So I even took a while to think about it, and I was going, well, should you, shouldn't you? Again, that was your self-belief. That was something I had to go through and just push myself and just go, you can do this. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
I mentioned this not long ago, but it's funny because we started off the show by me thinking there were two individuals that I did their show, and this literally was my test. I wanted to see whether I would be comfortable in front of the camera, comfortable talking, and after going through it, I just felt like, yeah, not a problem. It's for me, and I realized that I was my own worst enemy in many ways. But this year, my resolution is really to. I know it sounds really selfish, but really to take care of myself. I think that once you are taking care of yourself, once you are healthy and healthy mind, and rather than sitting there and worrying about my next wife or my kids or what would happen in my future.
What you don't have.
Yeah,
you
I'm
just
worried
focus on
about
what
like
you
let's
do have.
fix the things that I can kind of fix right now, which is the dieting, which is the trying to meditate more this year. I want to do a lot more nonprofit stuff, so I want to be able to help out. Something just to mention before we leave. This month, I want to do something for the homeless.
Yes.
And I'm kind of working on it right now, but I dropped the ball because I got a little bit too busy. But if there's anyone out there that wants to help out with helping the homeless on the 25th of January, so it's exactly 1 month after Christmas. And the idea behind it is to give back, not just during the holidays, but these people who are on the streets right now in this cold weather need our help. So I'd like to raise a little bit of money and go out and possibly feed them.
Do something
and
nice.
Do something that's
warm
out of the ordinary.
Heart and soul.
Exactly, and show that we still care, because any of us can be out in the streets at any point in time.
Any point.
Life just changes in a matter of seconds.
Literally instant.
So on behalf of Lee, my dear friend, and myself, Ron, I'd like to wish you guys a Happy New Year. May this be a blessed year filled with health, wealth, and happiness. And please continue to tune in. Like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, at The Prickly Pear Show. You can send us an email at thepricklypearshow@gmail.com.
Follow us on all forms of social media.
There you go, and soon you'll see that all of a sudden within a month we're going to blow up, because things are going to really change, and this evolution is
we're going to have some movies going on behind us.
That's right, yeah, and we're going to
preferably not porno.
Not preferably, for sure, no pornos, all right? Settle down there, Missy.
Who knows?
I'm still a teacher. I still teach kids.
Is coming.
No.
Anything is
And if it
possible.
does happen, you're the one that's going to be blamed for it. Just putting it out there.
Wow.
So again, on behalf of Lee for the third time, and Ron, have yourself an amazing year, and all the best.
Ciao, ciao, everyone.
You want the crippled guy to get up and press the button, or
Hell
do you
yeah, I do. I'm a lady.
All right. So no, this is because
I'm a lady.
Because she's a lady, and I'm in a lot of pain.
Have the final say every single time. Good night, everyone.